August here. Check this out. I misspoke earlier. There is two more things that I'd like to cover as far as gear goes. Now, I'm about to break a cardinal rule, and I have to say, as far as full disclosure goes, what I'm saying comes from the heart, okay? I'm speaking with emotion, therefore, you have to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Having said that, the most worthless piece of equipment that you're going to buy and bring on the trail is a water filter. Man, don't even waste your money. I mean, boy, I got so many stories and I've seen so many meltdowns with these water filters. First of all, okay, am I saying you don't have to treat the water? That's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I've been on the Appalachian Trail, dude, more than 20 times, all right? I've been north, I've been south, I've thru-hiked, and I'm telling you, okay, granted, okay, am I a water technician? Am I a scientist? No. But, dude, the water is cool. You don't need a water filter, okay? I don't believe in a dumb question, and I don't believe in common sense to say that. I'm not going to assume to say this. I'm not going to say, anybody can use their common sense and find what a decent water source looks like. I won't say that, because what's common sense for one person may be an epiphany for someone else, a pearl of wisdom that they never knew. But this is what I'll tell you. 2 weeks into the trail, which is about the time your water filter is going to break anyway, you're going to know exactly what a good source looks like and what a questionable source looks like. Okay? Now, when you set up camp and you're hiking on this trail, when you're going by the guide and everything, the guide is going to tell you a good water source is here. Granted, and it always has this disclosure. Always treat your water. Boil your water. Blah, blah, blah. And I guess they have to say that. Better safe than sorry. But let me tell you something. I've been on this trail a long time, and I've never seen one case of a waterborne illness. I've never seen it. Put that into some kind of context or perspective. I've seen 5 cases of food poisoning since I've been on the trail. Hikers going in town, grabbing something, come back, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? So if you got the ratio 0 to 5, and you think about this, you're drinking water every single day. I mean, you're pouring it down, and take this into account as well. When you're drinking the water naturally, your body is going to build it. Your body is going to build up antibodies, from what's in the water. So really, I mean, your system is going to adapt, and you're going to be adjusted by about three weeks. Okay, if your water filter lasts a month, consider yourself lucky. At the time, you may get at least 3 gallons of water filtered before it really starts to mess up, and at that point, it's going to be suspect. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but man, don't waste your money, and it's going to be so frustrating, because before they start to break, when you're doing it, I mean, it takes like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It takes so much pressure to pump this water. You're doing all this for a trickle. I mean, it's just so not worth it. Now, let's say that you do have a question. Okay, what do I use? Well, before I get to me, water pills, however you want to call it, water tablets. Do I recommend them? I mean, if you don't want to do a filter and you don't feel comfortable with what I'm telling you, and your mom and dad is saying, don't listen to this guy, at least take this, fine, take them. But here's the deal with the water tablets and the iodine tablets. Number one, even in the wintertime, that water is about 55 degrees, 52 degrees. Now, is it, granted, okay, water freezes at 32 degrees. But as far as I'm concerned, 55 degrees is ice cold. It feels ice cold, whatever. The point I'm trying to make is, when you're putting these hard tablets into this water, that's this ice cold water, you gotta wait at least 8 hours. Now, how practical is that? You're sitting here dying of thirst. You put these tablets in your thing, and then you shake it up, and then you gotta sit there and wait. I mean, it's just so impractical. Now, granted, it's been let me see. The last time I was on trail was 2008. And they got some kind of thing now with lights and bells and whistles. I don't know. I mean, but I'm just saying, right now my beef is with water filters. What do I use? This is what I use. This is bleach. Okay, this is straight chlorine bleach. All right. What you need, what you can use or whatever, you get one of these right here. Think of Visine. You see the little head on that? You fill this up with bleach, okay? And all you need, and this is only if the water is suspect, 3 drops per liter. The Nalgene is a liter. Okay, how much is a liter? A liter is maybe a few ounces shy of a quart, 32 ounces. So a liter's probably what, 31.5 ounces, something like that. Now I only use that when the water's suspect. Now keep in mind, okay, I'm from LA, and you're drinking the tap water there. That's like going to a swimming pool, taking a glass, doing this, and drinking it down. You smell the chlorine. It's just, that's just all part of the flavor. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm telling you, a couple of drops to a quart of water. If it's suspect, shake it up. And the good thing about bleach is when you treat the water and you drink it, the bleach is still in the water. When it's sitting in your belly, it's still being processed. That's what's so good about it, you know. So you can still have the water in your belly hiking, and the bleach is still doing what it's supposed to do. It's still going through the whole, you know, filtering process. And that's what I've done. And the further you move north, the better the water sources are. You know, you'd be surprised. New York, of all places, man, beautiful. The water streams is just like something out of some Indian tale. Now, the worst water on the trail you're going to find is in New Jersey, and it has nothing to do with standing puddles and muddy water. In New Jersey, they have these things, these old school pumps, you know, and so it's you think, oh, how convenient, I can just pump the, man, that water tastes so bad. It tastes like clamshells and turpentine. And so do you need a water filter with that? Nah, I mean, it's potable, you can drink it, but what I suggest is you come with your powder Gatorade and Kool-Aid and this, that, and the other, and you mix it up. The good thing about New Jersey is you get people that will actually leave gallons of water on the trail side. Now, granted, in the real world, would you find some water on the side of the road and drink it? No, but when you're in the trail, there's trail standards. Trail is a whole nother different way of life. You come out of them woods, it's like July, you're going through New Jersey, man, and you're like dying of thirst, and that water tastes so bad, you're thinking, I don't want to drink it. Then you come to the trailhead or the corner and you see these gallons of water. Boy, I tell you what, it tastes like Kool-Aid, man. I'm telling you. So that's a good thing, you know, as far as the water goes. Okay, tent. Do you need a tent? Okay, for years I've been on the trail saying, man, you don't need a tent. Don't worry about it. We have shelters, blah, blah, blah. But I never actually did a through hike. Okay, so 2005, I'm doing fine. March, April, May, June. You know, I'm just cruising through there. By the time I got to Massachusetts, that was all she wrote, because I mean the mosquitoes were so bad. And the thing about Massachusetts, and it, you know what, it could just be the season, but shelters are set up by water sources, and they do it for the convenience of the hikers. When they come in, you know, they can come around the corner and they get their water. But the problem is, standing water is a cesspool for mosquitoes. Okay. So I guess it was just the perfect storm, because I went in there and those mosquitoes ate me all night long. I mean, it was terrible. I still get nightmares to this day. But I stayed up all night fanning off mosquitoes, and that morning I swore I'm getting off this trail and I'm not coming back until I get a tent. All right. Lucky for me, the person I was hiking with, you know, we got off the trail. She called her kids. We got a hotel. The kids came by. They brought some old tent or whatever. We shared a tent. We took a tent all the way up. And I tell you what, right now, I swear by them. Go figure. Do you really need a tent? I mean, hell, if you can handle mosquitoes, good luck with that. It's really not a problem until you really get north. But then I guess it just depends on that perfect storm scenario, you know, with the whole going up. But I'm going to tell you some advantages about a tent that over the years I've come to actually use. Let's say you're hiking, and let's say you go into town, but you can't afford a hotel. Keep in mind, these towns are like right on the edge of trail. They know who through hikers are, you know, blah blah blah. So what I would do is I would go into town, you know, enjoy some hot running water. Maybe I'll pay a hiker that has a hotel $5. I'll take a shower, and then I'll like go to McDonald's, get something, go to like a local Walmart. And what I'll do is, instead of hiking 10 miles out of town to go to the next shelter on the trail, I'd go behind a local gas station and just late at night go on the wood line, set up my tent, and just sleep. You know, you can do that. I mean, your tent is your shelter. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you wake up the next morning around 6:30 before the business opens. You know, you pack up, put your stuff in the pack, go back to McDonald's, get an egg McMuffin, and shoot on back to the trail. So the tent is so convenient in that respect. You know, it's like you just got your home sitting right there with you. Now, the shelters are cool, everything's fine, but you know, with the degree of privacy, with it's just, tents just have so much to offer with the mobility of it. Yeah, it's about 5 more pounds of extra weight, but it's worth it, you know. So definitely I recommend that. And for the record, one more thing about a tent. Let's say you're you know, let's say you're a female, or let's just say you're a single guy hiking, and you don't feel comfortable. Well, this is not coming out right. So let me just say this. You're going to reach a time where you're hiking, okay? It's late in the day, and you're the only one at this shelter, you know? And it's kind of spooky, too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, where is everybody? You know, sometimes you will sleep alone. Well, let's say you come up on the shelter, you know, and you have a tent. What I recommend is don't sleep in the shelter by yourself. Is it dangerous? I'm not saying that. But don't sleep in the shelter by yourself. If you have a tent, use your tent. You know, you don't have to leave the shelter area, but just, you know, do what you got to do. You can stay in the shelter all day long. You can cook. You can do all that. But when you go to sleep, sleep in your tent. Now, what this does is it just gives you a veil of mystery. So let's say some like miscreant or some guy, some bum, whoever. Let's say somebody comes through there, okay, and they're like looking around the shelter. And then what you don't want to do is have a questionable suspect look in the shelter and see some blonde girl, you know what I'm saying, in the sleeping bag. You know, you can see your hair all out, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're coming in with lights. You know, it's just some X-Files, scary stuff. So what I would say is, another thing with tents is it gives you a degree of ambiguity. It gives you a degree of mystery. You know, so if somebody's coming around the camp or wherever, you know, and you hear noises and whatnot, they're not just going to walk up on a tent. They don't know who's in that tent, you know, and that's the beauty of it all. You know, it could be a girl with a Rockwilder. It could be this, could be that. So tents give you that air of mystery that you need, that just gives you one more cloak. Okay. Now, please don't misunderstand this. You know, I'm not saying there's a bad people on the trail and this, that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying better safe than sorry. You know, so that's another good thing about a tent. You know, it gives you that extra layer of protection. I guess that's it. I'm at 12 minutes. I don't know what I'm going to call this piece, but yeah, that was the roundup on gear. Now, I hope I didn't scare anybody. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. But, you know, even in the book, they will tell you things like, this particular shelter is 2.5 miles, not even that. This particular shelter is 0.5 miles from the road. And any shelter that's close to the road, you're going to know it. When you roll in there, you're going to see beer cans. You're going to see things from the civilians. You can see how kids will come in here and actually use this thing, you know. And it's not uncommon when you're hiking to come up on the shelter and see an obvious homeless guy sleeping in the shelter, you know. And when you have that tent, then that just gives you a little bit more leeway to keep on going, you know, respect the space, whatever, keep on going a little bit more, pop your tent instead. So really, a tent will give you options. Is it worth the wait? Yes. And if you're coming with a partner or something like that, y'all can cut the tent in half. I mean, you're talking 3 pounds. It is worth the wait, you know, no doubt. So there we go. Out here.